It's an honor for me to serve as the moderator for a 3-minute competition on the theme of energy and environment. The first thing I have to do as a moderator is to introduce 5 members of the judging panel, okay, one by one. So let me start with Professor Santanu. Okay, he's a professor at the Department of Energy Science and Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. Okay. The second judge is Young-Shin John. Okay, John is professor in the Department of Energy, Environmental and Chemical Engineering, Washington University, St. Louis. And next, the Professor Roy. Okay, he's a professor at the Department of Chemical Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Okay, and the fourth judge is Professor Sur. Yeah, Professor Sur is affiliated with the Russian Very Nanotechnology Institute, Technion, Israel Institute of Technology. Okay. Last but not least, Professor Yoav Dean of the School of Sustainability at the Interdisciplinary Center, Herzliya. Okay. All right. Now we have 5 of the judges, and I remind you that all the members of the audience also vote for People's Choice Prize. Okay? But let me briefly mention about the judging criteria. The members of the judging panel will assess each presentation based on 2 criteria. First, the comprehension and content. Second, engagement and communication. All right? Each criterion is equally weighted. The judges' votes will decide the winner of the grand prize, while the audience vote will determine the people's choice winner, as I mentioned. All right, let's begin the competition, 3-minute competition. The first. Okay, I will call the competitor on the basis of the order on the ballot. Okay, the first finalist is Meng Jin, Tsinghua University, and the title of his presentation will be "Great Money-Saving Earth Observation Method." All right. Okay.
Satellites sound like quite far away from us. However, they're not just NASA, the ESA, or Elon Musk things. Satellites keep an eye on our environment day and night and provide us with remote sensing data. Many global studies highly rely on remote sensing to observe the wind, land, atmosphere, water, grassland, etc. But look at these colorful lines. It sometimes becomes difficult to figure out how to do the right observation because there are so many satellites. Just assume one simple situation, that a forest fire happens suddenly. Satellite data can monitor cheap and fast. Unfortunately, there is not always a satellite flying right over the fire site. Therefore, we calculate and schedule nearest satellite to swing a little bit and take a look at the fire. And this is basically what I'm doing with my PhD thesis. But take it easy. I only talk about non-military satellites here. There are around 220 satellites currently on operation. Launching a satellite is costly. If we just let them orbit around the Earth, that is a waste of money. We strive to wisely organize the Earth observation satellites and their data. There are 3 steps to go: setting a standards, designing algorithms, and interpreting resources. ISO standards serve as a foundation. It's a translator between different satellite systems so that they can talk with each other. A good example is NASA's Landsat mission. It can map the whole world by communicating with global ground stations. I also participated in an ISO final stage is to integrity. Unfortunately, we haven't fully achieved this yet, but we really hope that we can generalize our strategy to international organizations in the future. If so, every satellite will be cost-effective, and that will make a huge difference and save a lot of money. Thank you.
Okay, thank first speaker, Jin. Okay, next speaker will be Po-Cheng Lin, Washington University in St. Louis. The title of the presentation will be Turning Bacteria into Factories, Microbial Production of Fuels from Carbon Dioxide. Okay, Lin.
Have you ever thought about the gasoline or diesel that we use to power our car engines? Where do they originally come from? I believe all of you would answer fossil fuels. And can you imagine that these fuels can actually be made from bacteria? So my research focuses on turning bacteria into factories that make fuels. The bacteria that I'm working with is called cyanobacteria. So see the figure on our left corner. This is what they look like in a test tube. Just like plants, these green bacteria produce their own food from carbon dioxide using sunlight as the source of energy. In recent years, cyanobacteria are considered as promising hosts for fuel production because they can directly convert carbon dioxide into fuels. So getting back to that question, how can we turn bacteria into factories that make fuels? In nature, certain living organisms such as plants or bacteria can make compounds that are similar to fuels, but they usually make very small amounts of these compounds. So it is impractical to use these organisms to produce fuels. And the reason that these organisms can make fuel molecules is because they have special genes that are responsible for fuel production. So we take the genes from these organisms and put them into the cyanobacteria. This will enable the bacteria to generate chemical reactions to transform food into fuels. However, it is not always easy to take a gene from a living organism and put it into another one. Just like a doctor doing a transplant surgery, there are potential risks of transplant rejection. Putting a foreign gene into the bacteria is the same. The genes could be toxic to the bacteria, so the bacteria may die, or the genes we put in may not be functional. To solve this issue, I designed DNA switches to control the activity of the genes, so they become less toxic to the bacteria. And to further increase the production of fuels, I had to identify the key factors that limit fuel production and use DNA editing technologies such as CRISPR to reshape the metabolism in the bacteria. So the most recent result I got showed a 7-fold improvement compared to the reported literature. This demonstrates the potential of using cyanobacteria to produce fuels. So we are currently at a moment where the atmospheric CO2 level is at its highest point in human existence. We must do something to reduce the use of fossil fuels in order to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. And I hope these green little bugs will be one of the solutions that lead us toward a sustainable future. Thank you very much.
All right, let me introduce the third speaker. The third finalist is panel V, Meki Chai. I hope I'm correctly pronouncing your name. Meki Chai is from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. And her title will be Cleanup of Cadmium-Contaminated Soil through Planting Corn in Soil Enhanced with the Biosurfactant. Okay.
Thailand wants to be in kitchens all over the world through the export of our agricultural products, especially our rice. But we face a formidable bad guy stealing the health of people, selling crops of farmers. The heavy metal, cadmium, is the villain in this story. Where did this villain come from? In the west of Thailand, since mining activities have created this problem by leaching cadmium into the soil, contaminating surrounding agricultural field. This cadmium accumulates in edible plants, especially rice grain. This can lead to serious health risks of renal dysfunction and painful wound for the local people and beyond. As a staple food of Thailand and much of Asia, rice contaminated with cadmium is a real threat to human health. So, what can we do? Conventional technology like soil washing are normally used to eliminate heavy metal in soil. But its chemical use harms the environment, suddenly the farmer's ability to utilize their soil, affecting their livelihood in the area. With the reasons, and applying environmentally friendly techniques of using plants to capture cadmium from the soil. Corn. I selected corn for this job because of its high tolerance to various heavy metals and high mass productivity, which can be used for a variety of purposes. But corn on its own requires a long period of time to remediate soil. So, to improve its ability to capture cadmium, I'm using biosurfactant into the soil as an eco-friendly partner of corn in the battle scape cadmium. Biosurfactant works like a magnet to attract and trap the cadmium and then transport it into the corn through its root. This solution can accelerate the cadmium removal process compared to the soil of ordinary corn. And the harvested corn after cleanup can also generate income to the sale of the corn for bioenergy and heat combustion, which are alternative energy sources. These simple techniques of utilizing corn, which is enhanced with biosurfactant, is both environmentally and economically friendly, making it an ideal hero for farmers. Through applying this approach, the local community can take a larger step toward sustainable development. Thank you.
Well, I feel time flies so fast. We'll have the fourth speaker, who is Anshuman Sharma from University of Princeton. The title will be Future Mixed Traffic, Congested or Smooth. Okay, please.
Do you know the cost of extra travel time, fuel usage, pollution arising from traffic congestion amounts to 6% of your annual salary? Road congestion is a global problem and it has enormous negative impacts on mobility, economy, health, environment and safety. Experts say connected vehicles have great potential as a solution to this massive problem. So what are connected vehicles? These are the vehicles equipped to provide surrounding traffic information to drivers. For example, pedestrian ahead, collision warning. Several reports predict that by the year 2050, connected vehicles will be mainstream. However, for the upcoming 10 to 30 years, connected vehicles have to coexist with the present-day vehicles, which may result in a highly complex mixed traffic. Therefore, before spending billions of dollars in developing and thereafter deploying connected vehicles, it is very important to analyze whether these future vehicles will really solve the congestion problem or not. My research focuses on this issue. To analyze connected vehicles, I designed a driving simulator experiment and invited participants from diverse backgrounds. Note that connected vehicles will be controlled by us, so the main focus of my experiment was to understand how drivers react to different messages, whether they act according to a message or ignore it. Imagine you are driving a connected vehicle and you receive a message about collision warning. Some of you will trust the message and will press the brake hard, whereas some of you might first consider what is the gap between your vehicle and the vehicle in front, what is your current speed, or who are the passengers on board, and then decide the appropriate action. I have observed these behaviors in my experiment. This shows the decision to act according to a message or to ignore it is in driver's hands. Unfortunately, if a driver decides to ignore the message, all the advantages of connected vehicles will be nullified. And this is the reason why I strongly believe in the coming age of artificial intelligence, one should never forget humans. From the experiments, I found that smaller the gap between the connected vehicle and the vehicle in front, the more useful the messages are to drivers. Using this knowledge, I have developed my connected vehicle model. Moreover, findings from my experiment can assist in driver-friendly design of connected vehicles. So what's next? Using the developed model, I will generate numerous mixed traffic scenarios with different percentages of connected vehicles to find out whether our future is moving towards the sustainable environment or away from it. Thank you.
Okay, we are moving to the end of the presentation. The final finalist will be Nestle Booner, Washington University in St. Louis. The title will be From Dust to Light. From Dust to Light Harvesting Materials. Plasmas for materialist synthesis. Right. Go ahead.
Technology has advanced tremendously over the last 2 decades, and we all pretty much experienced this throughout our use of cell phones and our computers. So there's a silent but a key player behind all this, and it is the semiconductor industry. So this is the industry which produces the parts of many of the materials that many of the devices that we use. For example, it produces the microprocessors in our phones or the detectors in our digital cameras. This industry has made significant leaps, and it also perfected the silicon technology. But there is still a whole new level of materials which are just waiting to be explored. My research focuses on 2 things. So, first one is the plasma semiconductors, which convert the energy of light into electricity, or electricity into light. Such high-quality light harvesting materials are usually chemically much more complicated than silicon technology, which is the established technology. And they are very, very difficult to make. One of the difficulties come from the chemical nature of the raw materials. These raw materials are called as precursors. They are gas-based chemicals. They work relatively well, but the difficulty is they're very nasty. They're very, very difficult to handle. These materials are pyrophoric, which means that they burn with water and air, so you can't put out flames if they're with water. And then, in addition to this, they are very, very toxic. In case a minor amount of them leaks out of an aerosol can, for example, in this room, the audience might experience fatal consequences. And my second focus is the plasma, which is the one that you see here. So in order to produce high-quality light harvesting materials, while circumventing all these toxicity-related issues, we came up with a novel method of synthesis, and we use a plasma for this. What we do is we first generate a dust of the comprising elements of that material. So this is a simple dust, it's worthless. We just take it and then send it into a plasma. So as the dust travels through the plasma, really interesting things occur. Particles of different elements gets fused together and they mix on an atomic scale. This means that by doing this, we generate, just from dust, the small crystals of a very valuable semiconductor, and this is a functional material. We have used this method to synthesize very precious and difficult to make materials. One is gallium antimony, which is a component of new generation solar cells. Another one is gallium nitride, and this is the reason for the 2014 Nobel Prize in Physics. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank 5 finalists for your very important condensed presentations, and this is a very exciting presentation. 3 minute, short, but no minute, very important presentation. And also I appreciate probably difficult assessment by judging panel and by the audience too. So best of knowledge, the balance will be connected at the end of this session. All right. So basically, what's the next? I put my job. Thank you for your time.